Right. How are we? Great to see you legends in. Thank you for joining. And also, if you was here before, thank you for remaining patient. My laptop is swiftly becoming a massive piece of rubbish. I see some people were in. James, Steve, Bobby was in. I was promised a live stream. Well, here I am, mate. Here I am. I haven't abandoned it. I'm here. So do not worry. I'm here and I'm ready to stream. Stonksy, how we doing, mate? Great to see you. Yeah. Sorry for the delay, but yeah, it's this this laptop of mine is becoming a nightmare. To be fair, what is it now? To be fair, it's not even 2 years old. I think I bought it in May or June of 2024, so it's nearly 2 years old. But it has been hammered with like over a year of streaming now. So I started streaming in November, I think, November 2024. So it's been hammered on it with over a year of streaming, which, and also now video making as well. So they are built to last in terms of that. So a bit of wear and tear on it, I think, but the reset seems to have done the job. I haven't done a reset on it probably for about 2 weeks. Just completely reset it, loaded it up and loaded everything up again with the tabs and everything. So that seems to have done the trick. But yeah, how are we doing? Great to see all you legends in here. Thank you very much for joining. And yeah, it's quite an interesting day because Asia did crash Bitcoin, didn't it? Asia crashed Bitcoin. I mean, if we look at this was just insane, wasn't it? So we had just like nice little, tiptoe, and then 11 o'clock come. Now, what is important about the 11 o'clock time is it is when CME opens. If we go and have a look at CME, it is exactly when CME opens there. So you can see we got a very small CME gap, which it basically filled straight away. Very small CME gap. It come back up there, didn't it? There is a tiny bit there. And again, I don't really know how much. There's not really, is there actually? Yeah, so that CME gap's filled. But you see, 11 o'clock, CME opens, and it was just straight away. CME opens, bang, hammer. And we what did we do from then? So we dropped. Hang on. So we dropped almost 4% in that time, which was an hour. Which is just crazy, isn't it? Bitcoin dropping 4% in an hour. 4%. I did forget to put Stonksy on. So yeah, 4% in an hour. Crazy. I mean, it's been a while since we saw volatility like that, isn't it? We've had good volatility to start the year, both up and down. But I mean, 4% in an hour is crazy, isn't it? James is saying Asta dropped 20% in 3 minutes. Is that right? Oh, yeah, look at that. So that was just on that candle, weren't it? Dropped 18%. But then if you actually go from the timer, James, if you go from the time when Bitcoin started dropping, Asta dropped almost round about 22%. Volatility is okay. Mate, volatility is where the money's made, yeah? You're right, Pellin, you're right. Volatility is where the money is made, as long as you're on the right side of it. If you're not on the right side of it, then it's a massive pain in the arse, innit? And can be quite costly if you're not on the right side of it. But Asta, I mean, yeah, that was crazy. I didn't notice that. To be honest, I haven't been through some of the kind of smaller altcoins compared to obviously the bigger ones. But yeah, that's huge. And it just seems like, all weekend we got nothing, did we? We didn't even really get that much of a Sunday move. If we go back and look, it was literally just pinned on it the whole weekend, even through Sunday. Normally what we see is if the volatility is dry on Saturday, we normally at least get something on Sunday, don't we? We normally at least get a Sunday move, whether it be up or down, but we literally got nothing. But yeah, the key thing and the interesting thing is that Bitcoin got hammered as soon as the CME opened. Literally, just CME opens, bang, done. Now I don't know if that lines up with Asia session or not. It was basically in Asia hours, wasn't it? So yeah, I'm pretty sure that probably lines up with the start of the Asian market. But I mean, all throughout, you know, all throughout, what we would label as the Asian hours, obviously, you know, late night going into early morning is obviously Asia market. And yeah, it looks like obviously it came from the eastern part of the world this month. Yeah, pretty sure it was when Tokyo opened. Yeah. Still waiting to get back on track with the bear market. Ooh, Pellin's feeling bearish. What would you consider back on track, mate? What would you consider back on track? Where are you kind of looking for next? Look who we've got in. Hello, mate. How are you? You okay? How are things? How are things? We haven't had a chat in a while, have we, mate? We haven't had a chat in a while. I hope all is good. I mean, I don't think we even really spoke over Christmas or anything, did we? But hope all is good, mate. All good, thanks. Yeah, not bad. Just busy streaming, busy making videos, busy with everything else. But yeah, it's good. Not bad at all. We'll have to have a catch up, mate. But yeah, obviously, if we look at the 1 hour chart, you can obviously see the strength in the fall off, can't you? You can see the strength in the fall off. Just massive injection of volatility. Now, of course, if we go to the daily, we have dropped back below. Currently, as it stands anyway, SR, and, you know, back into the range as well. So, Pellin says, this seems to be like a small side step. If we won't hit 60-70 levels, I'll be surprised. Yeah, I mean, I think what you're looking at there, Pellin, and we'll visit that now. All I'll say is, yeah, at the moment, for me anyway, obviously for how I've drawn my range out, Bitcoin has dropped back below SR. Yesterday, yesterday's close, Sunday's close was actually all right. You know, it basically closed there, didn't it? Which was right on the region, but we've dipped back into it. Now, obviously, what we'd want is a strong daily close, which I don't know if we'll get because the US market is shut today. So something to remember is in 20 minutes time, there's going to be no US open because the US market is closed today. But what we would want is a strong daily close. You know, we'd want this to end up being a long lower wick and then, you know, close anywhere above kind of like 93.5 would be a reasonable close, I think. Either that or we stay in here and maybe mess around towards the top of the range again, like kind of we did here. You know, here we fell off, didn't we? And fell all the way back to the bottom. Here we come up rejected, fell all the way down to just sub 90, but then rounded off and then went back to the top. Perhaps, you know, there's definitely reason there that we could do that. You know, if you look into the upside, you know, perhaps a couple of days here, just baiting shorts, trying to push it down lower like that, which obviously builds liquidity to the upside, and then, you know, just rip it back up and then do something like that. So obviously that's if we're looking up. But Pellin says they want to take a small side step and then hit 60-70k levels. Now, what I'd be surprised of if we are going to hit 60-70k, I suppose there's two things actually here that, you know, we want to kind of pay attention to. Hang on, just let me turn the alternative time frame off. There. So I think one of the things we want to pay attention to is the fact that this could actually be another lower high, potentially, couldn't it? You know, we had high, obviously all-time high, and then lower high. I don't know really if you class that as a lower high structurally. It worked as a lower high on this move, but with this being so thin and fast, I don't really think that. I mean, a lot of people probably will class that as a lower high. It's a difficult one because it's so thin and fast. It's kind of like the market structure looks a bit weird now because this potential lower high is coming over here. But either or, it doesn't really matter. I wouldn't really focus too much on, you know, kind of lower highs and stuff like that. I'm really more focused on the range. But back to what Pellin's saying is obviously 60, 70. If that's the case, you know, say kind of, let's just pick 65, you know, in the middle. So Pellin's saying, let's just say Pellin's saying 65 for argument's sake, you know, just slap bang in the middle. There we go. What I'd be surprised at is that this didn't give more of a complacency bounce. So this has definitely been a good bounce so far, because what have we done? We basically just cleared out all liquidity, haven't we? You've cleared out all liquidity. We cleared this high to the left here from the 15th. And then, of course, just cleared all local liquidity right above the range too. But it's not really much of a complacency bounce, I don't think. You know, that's like, what was that from? To say, you know, say go from year open. That was like just over 10%. It's not much of a complacency bounce. If I was looking for a complacency bounce, ideally it would have been that. But again, is that too much of a perfect retest, like the perfect short, to do something like that? Potentially, yeah. But I mean, Pellin's thinking, let's just say 65, which would actually bring it into demand. You know, if Pellin's right, then that would bring it into demand. But I'm not really too focused on looking at kind of the market structure on the daily in terms of, you know, identifying what is, you know, the lower high and stuff like that. I'm mostly focused at the moment in just watching this range form out, and if we are going to, you know, break range again or fall back into the range. But this is kind of where we're at for sure. And again, you know, you might draw it a bit differently. You know, you might draw it a bit differently. You may see other people drawing it a bit differently. Some people may pick them two equal highs there. You know, so two people may pick them equal highs and go, oh, there's the range high. Which, if you actually look at where we tested for support on the breakout, that was basically a pinpoint test there on it. This tested it quite well on this day. But me personally, I just prefer to use boxes. So I got, you know, you're pulling in a lot, as much of the price action as you can pull in around the daily wicks and the daily closes, which I think, yeah, this kind of like 93.5 to 94k region as a box works quite well. But we definitely don't want to start trading back in the range. That's for you, because if we start trading back in the range for too long, you then, and you can't, you know, break back above the range and get back out of it. You then have to start looking at like, okay, well, what about down here? You know, we're going to maybe come and clear these lows here. What about this point here? You know, when you re-enter a range, it doesn't matter about being bullish or bearish, because price simply likes to be attracted to support and resistance and go and kind of just go after liquidity, both sides. When you re-enter a range like this, it doesn't matter if you hate the idea of going back to 85, 86k. All that is basically in front of us is you've got some resistance here, you've got support down here, and price can just trade fluidly between them two without it being a major concern. And we spoke about this at the start of the year, didn't we? We spoke about this at the start of the year, or maybe it was on the route up, or as we were rejecting. I can't remember exactly where it was. We said, you know, we're still in the range. You know, you can still technically just go back down. But let's hope that we don't get that. You know, let's keep our bullish pants on. Unless you're Pellin, of course. Maybe we've got some other bears in the chat. Do let me know. Please do drop a like on today's stream. It will be massively appreciated by myself. It does help the stream out. Hang on, let me try and fix. Yeah, there we go. There you go. I think my mic was getting kind of in the way of my face, wasn't it? When kind of blaring it out. But yeah, I think that's a logical place for where we're at the moment. Do let me know in the chat. Do you disagree? What kind of are you watching for next? What are you? Have you got a feeling for where we're going next? It'd be great to know individually what you guys think. But yeah, I think just keep an eye on this range, and again, draw it how you want. There's no real right or wrong way to draw a range, as long as you're not picking, as long as you're not going right. I think the range high is at 100k. Obviously, that's not correct, but you know, wherever you think the range high is, whether you agree with me or whether you've got it at 94k, solely as a line, or 95k or whatever. The main thing is for Bitcoin is you know, we stay above the range, and kind of put this as an SR test. This can still be an SR test if this is the trap. You know, there'd be nothing wrong at all with this being a trap set here. Hang on. There'd be nothing wrong with this being a trap. And then, you know, we reclaim the upper part of SR and then start heading up. You know, nothing wrong with this being a liquidity clearance / trap for shorts, as long as obviously we push back to the upside and start holding it above it again. Yeah, I mean, as for, you know, why did Bitcoin do this? You know, why? I don't think we don't really need too much of a reason, because at the end of the day, Bitcoin will be pushed to wherever market makers / market participants want to push it. What I do think is it's interesting that it was timed perfectly with Asia Open and CME Open. And I think really all we saw over the weekend was, and into late last week. Hang on. Let me get my see if my mouse can start working. Or does it need charging? Maybe it needs charging. Yeah, so what we did was we just saw kind of a stall, didn't we? In Bitcoin. We come down for what you could consider, you know, a close SR test or an SR test in itself, which was a good reaction on Friday. But then on Saturday, Sunday, when you get a low volatility weekend like that, and especially with Bitcoin just hovering right above SR, it does make the perfect cocktail for basically let's just screw people over. And if you actually look at, you know, the liquidations, that's exactly what it did. You know, it was a prime opportunity, not map, hang on. It was a prime opportunity to just go and just wreck longs. If you see there, look at that. 24 hours wrecked. $788 million of longs. That's crazy, isn't it? That's crazy. $788 million of longs. So when you are maybe searching for a reason, more often than not, it's as easy as, was this a good opportunity for market makers to push Bitcoin to the downside to go and liquidate a bunch of people? Yes, because the evidence is there. We had basically $800 million of long liquidations. That's a lot of money, and that's a lot of liquidations. That's like a big liquidation event, isn't it? And the fact it was over and done with in an hour obviously suggests that it was timed to perfection in waiting for Asia Open, waiting for CME Open, and then suddenly hit the market with supply, ruthless supply as well, just non-stop supply, basically someone just walking it down with a bunch of Bitcoin on the sell side. And yeah, took out them longs. But it was definitely strategically done. You know, they could have done that any time over the weekend, but it, you know, was chose to do right on Asia Open and right on CME Open. So yeah, I think from this point on, yeah, it's as easy as we kind of get as deep into the grey box as we can for a daily close. Good sign, bullish. BPN says, morning, Dave. When 88, still got limit on that 78. Mate, you're brutal, you. Is that what you're thinking? Are you thinking 88? Is that what you're thinking, BPN? 88. Yeah, I mean, it will all just depend on what happens for me, doesn't it? Like, the chart literally tells us all we need to know. In that Bitcoin at the moment, this is a fake out / liquidity grab. And at the moment, we're back inside the range. So the chart tells us all we need to know, and the chart will tell us if this is a trap and if, you know, we are back into kind of bullish territory in terms of looking for higher. It's just a case of we wait in it from now. You know, we wait. Do we go further down, which obviously puts us into a bit of pit of hell, or can we get a bullish close today? Thing is, we've got no US Open, have we? No ETF demand. But yeah, do make sure you drop a like on the stream, please. Sure. Yeah. I mean, if we look at Sol, let's look at Sol. So these have been hit. We'll have a look at ETH, because ETH was actually doing well yesterday. ETH was outperforming Bitcoin. And look at this. So here is exactly where we was looking last week. Now, the stops wasn't like a real trade. The targets were, the upside targets were, the stops weren't a real trade, even though they've not been stopped out just yet. They wasn't a real trade. That was just somewhere that we just flung the stop. We was looking at this, which would have obviously been in the ideal scenario for a breakout, but ETH never really looked that convincing, did it, in terms of getting away from its SR? The same for Sol. Never really that convincing getting away from its SR, just too busy hanging around it. But Sol is, you know, Sol is definitely looking weaker than ETH, and certainly weaker than Bitcoin. And if you actually have a look, let's put that range low back on there. So there's the range low on Sol. So we're not too far away from it, which would be crazy, that, you know, just completely wiping out all that first kind of 2 weeks of upside. ETH end story pump incoming, guys. I mean, ETH was looking strong, wasn't it? You know, yesterday it had a good day against Bitcoin. It didn't have the greatest close because of obviously the Bitcoin kamikaze that we got. But, you know, if you look at ETH and Sol on the ranges, and particularly, you know, looking at the upside SR, they never really had any convincing kind of break of it. Bitcoin had a much more convincing break of it because we sliced through it here, closed well above SR, and then pushed even higher there. And then, of course, we trickled back down. Where Sol and ETH, you know, barely closed above and never really pushed away from the SR, which is obviously a cause for concern, because you want it to break above and you want it to then go, right, okay, expansion now, bang, straight to 3,600. Still feeling bullish for Q1. Mate, yeah, I think there's no point in being too reactionary. You know, there's no point in being too reactionary. What I would say is, we're just, you know, all the bullish / bearishness is on the chart for us. For me, anyway. You know, all the bullish / bearishness is on the chart. I still think, because we're judging this off an hour of price action, aren't we? All this has come from an hour of price action. That 1 hour between 11 and 12 last night. Sorry. Yeah, last night. Has obviously catalyzed this. So, it's not that big of a deal. It's just... yes, Steve-O, howdy, why are you selling, mate? Mate, I was well asleep by 11 o'clock last night, so not guilty. Not guilty. I was well asleep, mate. I was well asleep. But yeah, I don't think we can really judge it too harshly on an hour of price action, Bobby. It just matters on how Bitcoin reacts now that it's been flung back into the range. Because I'm a big range trader. You know, I'm a big range trader. My kind of bread and butter when I learned trading was about ranges, and not really so much actually about trending environments. Trending environments are easy. You know, trend environments are easy. You just ride the trend, don't you? If the trend is going up, you ride any positions that you've got open pre going up. You then add to them, or if you close them, you then obviously look to re-long on pullbacks to ride the trend. Same for the downside. If the trend is down, you know, you ride your shorts. You add to your shorts at points where you think are good, or you look to get re-short on any squeezes up. What I do think is, you know, we are in a range-bound environment still, and range-bound environments are so easy. They're literally the easiest that you can trade, because it is just support to resistance until one breaks. And the evidence here, you know, support to resistance until one breaks. Did it. Again here, you know, rejected, flung back down, didn't come all the way back down to support, but we broke it, and now we're back in it. So Bitcoin, at the moment anyway, is literally just back in here. So we'll see what we get, and that's what I mean. All we need to know will come from today's daily close, but particularly over the next couple of days, because we either from here will reclaim and push up, or we start to then drop back further into the range, which is obviously no good. We could hang around here for a day or two towards the top of the range, which I don't think is too bad, as long as we stick around towards the top end, because then that gives the greatest chance that this is a trap, and then we just squeeze back up, wipe out these shorts, and then continue up. Chippy pump whilst market dumped. We're good to make money on spot that you lost on leverage. Let's see, mate. I haven't looked at Chippy today. Oh, 1.8. Oh, yeah, that's good, isn't it? Look at that. Yeah, Chippy is riding the pump, isn't it? Chippy is riding the pump. Very nice, very nice. Yeah, nearly back to a 2 mil market cap. 3 next, then 4. Yeah, very good. Very good. All good in the hood for Chipster. I made a new short this morning, 93.3. Take profit, 91.9. Got 93.5. Let's have a look, mate. Let's mark out BPN short. If anyone else wants to let me know of any positions that they've got open, do let me know and we can whack them on the chart. So 93.3. Stop, 91.5. Very tight. Very tight. And you're targeting 91.9. Yeah. That's BPN's trade at the moment. So you basically pipped, I'm guessing, this point here or this one. Could have been that one, couldn't it? Doesn't really matter. Same thing. So that's BPN's trade there for anyone that's interested. So you're currently in a, I don't know what percentage profit that's in, but in terms of R, it's nearly a 7R trade. Good trade. Good trade. 7R trade is good. Nicely done, mate. Nice tight stop here. Justin is long on Bitcoin from 82.3. So you've been holding that for a while then, mate. Yeah, you've been holding that for a while. So that's what I mean. Like, that's, you just sit comfy in that, don't you? Because if we go all the way back down there, you know that something's wrong. Justin is, let's see. You'd have got in that, I'm guessing. What did we come to on that? So you'd have got in that on literally the liquidation candle then, yeah? So you'd have got on that on the liquidation candle. So let's mark out Justin's. 82.3. There. Bang. There we go. Also, I was pulling that across then. Hang on. 82.3. Right. So yeah, that's Justin's trade at the moment. And again, let's pull it up. Let's just assume that, I'm guessing you've got your stop and break even, mate, or you know, at least stop in profit or break even. It's just a spot position. Yeah, I mean, works the same, doesn't it? Works the same whether it's a spot position or leverage. We can still mark it out on chart. What are you looking for? What are you looking for? Market nukes. No, mate, I was asleep. I was asleep. Goes to spot position. Yeah, break even, stop loss. Spot schmott. There's James. Yeah, I mean, up to 103 is 25%. Up to SR would be 30, 108, yeah. So yeah, round about there. Yeah, 108, 107. So there's your 30%, basically between 108 and 107. Taking heavy profits at 100, 99.8. Have I seen Dusk? No, I haven't. Let's see. Dusk Network, 42%. Christ, look at that. Nice catch by Stonksy there. Oh, look at that. Beautiful. From 7 cents. Very nice. Very nice. That's only since Friday. So, you know, currently where it's at, nice 3x. from the point of going up. Not bad at all. Not bad at all. Was you riding this whiz? Look at Rose. Oh, look at Rose. Privacy play. Dash kind of cooling off now, isn't it? Zen cooling off a bit. Yeah, it's good move on Dust though. Had a spot bag. Yeah, it's a good move. It's a very good move. I think I seen someone else mention Dusk this morning on the timeline. I'm sure I seen someone else mention Dusk this morning on the timeline. XMR, let's have a look how that's doing. Let's see. Yeah, so nice pullback. Bullish pullbacks. Bullish pullbacks for XMR. 30%, magic number. 30%-ish. Yeah, I mean, is this done? Or are we going to get higher on it? I think, I'll be honest, I don't really care because I don't have any holdings of this. I haven't been leverage trading it. I did actually open a leverage trade on this a while ago at like 350 at 2x. And I just ended up closing it like a day later because I thought I'll just look for something more immediate. Which would have actually, would have been a long. That must have been back not long after we had the market crash, so a long while ago. So it would have been a long trade to hold. But yes, XMR interesting for sure. I mean, what's that doing? This thing just keeps this thing just keep bleeding. Look at that! What a wick on Zek. So Zek looks like it's just going into a phase of consolidation now, doesn't it? Which is what it needed, really. That will always be the trade that got away. That will always be the trade that got away there. That tip over that white line. But Zek just looks like maybe, phase of consolidation, reaccumulation, perhaps. Don't know. Don't know if it's got a few left in the tank to go even higher, but could just form a nice range here, which it looks like it's done. We've got this basically as solidified resistance now. You've got this as support and demand for sure. We came down and retested that again today, haven't we? Nice absorption. So there's your range on Zek for now. By the looks of it, pretty straightforward, pretty easy. There's your range on Zek. Again, until, either end breaks. I assume probably most of the market looks. What's Astra? Astra actually went to new lows today, didn't it? Not new lows as in terms of its price history, but definitely in terms of like the post-launch PA when it actually got on exchanges. 55. I'm sure that was in and around about where I had that range marked out. I mean, this thing is crazy, isn't it? This thing just doesn't stop bleeding. I wonder what that XPL's doing. I haven't kept up with that, Wiz. I haven't kept up with that. Have you kept up with XPL? Let's see. Wait and see if Trump is either going to save the world or create World War III. Yeah. Yeah, it's going to get messy in it, I think. Dave and Wish show on Wednesday. Yes, mate, absolutely, yeah. Yeah. Dave and Wish show on Wednesday. Do you want to do another nighttime one, or what works better for you? I'm more than happy to do a nighttime one again if you want to switch it up, mate, or do you want to do daytime? Completely up to you. I'll let you decide. I'm good with either. Nighttime one. Oh yeah, look at this. I mean, to be fair, not a bad daily candle so far. That was like a perfect liquidation of the lows as well. That's like a perfect liquidation of the lows, isn't it? There, I wouldn't touch this personally. Like, I've just got no interest in touching it. But if you actually look at it as a chart point of view, we got a perfect liquidation of these two equal lows here, which is actually a good sign considering how it's bounced. Either works with me. Yeah, either's fine with me as well. Either's fine with me. Let's just see what we fancy then. Let's just see what we fancy. I don't really mind. I don't really mind at all. Afternoon, Dave. Wiz, how are you, kind sir? I'm all good, mate. I'm all good. How are you, Delta? How are you, mate? You good? Great to see you, Delta. Great to have you in the chat, mate. Dave, look at natural gas. I don't even know the ticker for that. I haven't even got a clue for the ticker on natural gas. This it. Nat gas there. Yeah. Whoa. Ooh. Explosion, 18%. Christ. What's caused that then? Rising tensions. Anything with Russia happened? What's the thesis on an explosion of natural gas today? Yeah, crazy. Just nat gas. Yeah, big move though. Big move. But yeah, I think let's see what we're gonna get. I mean, it's unfortunate on a day like today that we don't have US Open. It's probably gonna make tomorrow's US Open even more interesting. Europe has none, and Trump may cut them off. Mate, Europe, the EU is such a weird thing, innit? Like, it's like none of them can stand on their own 2 feet. They all need each other, bloody backing each other up, don't they? It's such a weird, like, and I just don't really like the EU in terms of that woman that's the head of it. I can't remember her name. Weird looking woman. Really strange looking woman. I can't remember her name, but I just think the EU is just like they've basically just been at the head of just Europe just falling apart, haven't they? Like, it's like if I had to personally pick a side over Trump and the EU, I would pick Trump every single day. Just my personal opinion. No, not them. I think it's probably the woman actually from the European Central Bank. Can't remember her name. Proper strange looking woman. I can't remember her name, but she just looks evil. Like, she's just got the face of evil. Like, you know that there's some proper sadistic things going around in her head. But yeah, it's just let's be honest. No one wants to go to war with the US. No, like, really think Europe can't even bloody like keep their own countries in order. Never mind trying to fight Trump. But yeah, just my opinion on that anyway. Yeah. But I'm gonna go and get a drink anyway. We're 40 minutes in. Probably do an hour and a half today with there being no US Open. So do make sure you get your comments in. Let me know what you'd like me to look at. Let me know your thoughts and feelings on the market. And of course, do make sure you drop a like on the video, on the stream, sorry. And I'll be back in a few minutes. Don't go anywhere because, yeah, we'll be on and we'll be looking. I suppose probably best, let's have a little flick through like meme coins and some other altcoins on the list next. Don't see why the drones wouldn't. Oh, don't see why the Danes wouldn't sell Denmark. What are they going to do with it? I think probably it's more so of the case of that. I think it's probably more of the case, and I'll be honest, don't really know like a whole lot about the history of like Greenland with Denmark and stuff like that. But I think probably there's a lot of strange leaders in the EU, and they probably just don't like the fact that Trump will get what he wants. It's just kind of like one theory on it. If I was living in Greenland, there was that rumor, wasn't there? And I don't know if it's true or not, but they were going to give Greenlanders up to like $100,000 each to say, yes, we'll join. We'll join the US. Damn right, yeah. Why not? What you want? Even if it wasn't 50 grand, or to just go, okay, yeah, we'll join the US, whatever. Yeah. Why would you not do that? If you don't want to live there anymore, you take your money and sell up and go somewhere else, don't you? You could actually go and live in Denmark if you want to be part of Denmark so much. I don't know. But yeah, I don't really know the whole history behind like when Denmark acquired Greenland and stuff like that. And I'll be honest, I don't really have that much of an interest in learning about it. All that I'm bothered about is what is going to come out of Trump's mouth and how's it going to affect the market. Because anything I say on here is not going to affect absolutely anything on what Europe, Trump, or Greenland are going to do, is it? So it's best all we're best doing is analysing what's going to go on the chart and what may happen in the coming days, weeks, based on headlines. I think we're moving yet again. This time last year, if you remember, we was in a headlines market, wasn't we? All around the tariffs. Now tariffs have started creeping up in terms of being important headlines again, but I think more so it's going to be now like the conflict of Trump wanting to get what he wants, Europe not wanting Trump to get what he wants, and just seeing obviously how that mixes and anyone else that may want to get involved. I think that's kind of the headline market that we're moving into. Not so much tariffs anymore. I don't think really the market gives any care in the world about tariffs unless we get something crazy where he slaps European countries like 100% tariff or something. I think, yeah, more so what will be in it is a headline reactionary market like this time last year, which is interesting. But yeah, I'll be back in a minute. Don't go anywhere. Stick around and we'll be carrying on the stream. back. I'm back. Thank you very much for bearing with me. There's no comments. I've got 16 people watching though, so thank you for joining. I see a few you probably joined while I was away. Do make sure you drop a like on the stream. Also, I nearly forgot. Nice poop. Yeah, it was actually. Yeah, it was. You know. Yeah. Yeah. Yes, Kev. Yeah, I did have a food. Yeah. Join the Discord as well. For those of you that aren't in the Discord, join the Discord. I've just put it into the chat. I'll pin it in the chat as well. Pin the message at the top. Yeah. Join the Discord if you're not already. There's 16 of you in here. I don't know if all of you will be in the Discord, but if you're not, join the Discord. Links in there. You literally just click on it, verify with capture that you're a human, and then you're in. So yeah, do make sure you come over and join us there. But yeah, I think overall, interesting start to the week. And what I would say is we've seen this kind of PA before in January, haven't we? You know, if you go back and look at previous Januaries, it is up and down, up and down. Majority of the time, January has been a good year for Bitcoin. A good month for Bitcoin. But it is up and down. You know, we're not going to go up in a straight line, are we? We're not going to go up in a straight line. People would want that, but it's just not going to happen. We're not going to go up as fast as we come down, in my opinion. Otherwise, we would have already gone up by now, wouldn't we? Coming down part was very easy. Got a bit of a shiver there. Very fast. Let's have a look what we've got coming in terms of dates this week. So, high on that. So you got Trump speaking on Wednesday. Yeah, pretty key thing this week. We've then got core PCE on Thursday, and then Friday we've got S&P Global, manufacturing and services. So pretty good week for data. You know, something on each day from Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Do keep an eye on that. Again, these dates will be going into the newsletter too, so make sure you check out the newsletter. Let's see what Chippy's doing. Chippy climbing a bit more. Go down to the 1 hour. Chipster. The fryer is on, innit? I like that saying for Chippy. I like that saying where the fryer is on. I like the fryer being on. Yeah. But yeah, I think this week should be interesting. Yeah, we're in a headlines market. Also, let's go check this out, because if you didn't see this is actually fascinating. TMG. Let's see if you didn't. The thought of buying Ryanair is becoming more appealing by the day. It's fucking funny, isn't it? Let's see. This would have been last night, wouldn't it? This here. So a Polymarket trader made $280,000 in a day, in literally just one day. Trading Bitcoin and XRP up or down market. So this person, literally went from 0 to 280,000 just doing up or down markets. So basically, like, will Bitcoin be up or down at a certain time? He's just doing that on Bitcoin and XRP. Made 280,000 on Polymarket. Insane. I mean, I've never really dabbled in the up and down markets on Polymarket. I've done the, obviously, Bitcoin. What price will it be by a certain time and stuff like that? Let's see. So like these, I think this is what he was doing here. These ones where it's timed, where it's on a timer there. So they're the ones that he was doing, which is fascinating, really. Will Trump acquire Greenland? Now, this is where you want to be careful on ones like these, because there's lots of different interpretations for this, isn't there? So will Trump acquire Greenland before 2027? What does acquire mean? So this market will resolve, yes, if the United States officially announces that Greenland will come under US sovereignty by December. So if you are playing the poly market ones, particularly with like this type of thing, with acquiring land and countries and stuff, this is what you want to be, really, because you got like this. Will the US acquire part of Greenland in 2026? If United States acquires control of any land territory that is part of Greenland, that's probably like a better way of phrasing it in it than the other one, I would say. I think that's probably a better way of phrasing it in terms of looking for the win on yes. Trump Greenland deal signed by March 31st. That's at 40%. And will the US invade Greenland in 2026? Now, there was another thing with this, wasn't there, in the Venezuelan one, where it was the term invade was like, what's the word I'm looking for? But basically, I think the people that had this on a yes for Venezuela didn't get paid out, I don't think. I'm not sure. Oh, yeah, there we go. So, there's some interesting stuff going on Polymarket. Let me know in the chat if you delved into Polymarket. I'll be honest, I've not really done too much of it over recent months. I know, me and Wiz used to have a mess around with it, didn't we, on stream together? But locking away capital on a 2-year bet is made. Think of the cost opportunity lost. Very true, James, yes. Unless you get to 2 years down the line and you've lost most of your money on something else. So then I suppose it depends on how good you are managing your money, doesn't it? Because you could get 2 years down the line and you could have gone, bloody hell, it's good job I locked this money up in this bet, otherwise I would have lost it like I lost some others. I think it really depends on like how you manage your money and stuff. But yeah, mate, you are right. I mean, for instance, will Sol be higher or lower than 133 in 2 years' time? 2 years' time would basically be at the halving almost. The halving is like March, April 2028. In 2 years' time, we will basically be almost there. You've got to think that Sol would be above 133 in 2 years' time. Unless it's not. Well, obviously, we don't know, do we? We don't know. It's all theoretical. But yeah, the cost opportunity of something like that, especially depending on what it's for in it as well. Depending on like how good it is. So, for instance, you're talking a 2-year bet. These are all 1-year bets anyway. And to be fair, they might not be 1-year bets. If it happens in, say, a month, then the bet's closed, in it, and you win. Unless you're obviously on no. But what was I going to say? I've lost my train of thought then. Is it? Yeah, well, yeah, these Greenland ones are obviously mostly 2026. But yeah, the cost opportunity. I mean, yeah, let me know in the chat. Will Sol be higher or lower than 133 in 2 years' time? What do you guys think? Do you think it's crazy that we got another Bitcoin halving coming in 2 years and just no one seems to care about the halving at all anymore? I'd rather bet on Liverpool to come top 4. That's like setting money on fire too, mate. It will be. That's you know what? That's actually the sad reality, James, is the board for some reason just refused to sack him. Like, I don't know why. I don't know why the board are so like upheld with drawing at home to Burnley is shambolic. On top of the performances and the results this season as well, should have been the final nail in the coffin. Like, he should have gone weeks ago. He could have arguably gone in November, and he's just still on this road of we're going to give him till the end of the season or whatever. I genuinely don't think that we'll get Champions League football with him. I think the way, you look at the way that United played, and you don't want to jump the gun with United because it's happened so often. But if Carrick can even get them playing half of how they played against City, then they'll wipe the floor with all the teams in the bottom half of the league. You got Chelsea, then obviously, new manager bounce. Also the other teams as well. You got Newcastle, Sunderland. Like, it's no joke. It's no joke, and I think we probably would miss. I think we are going to probably miss out on Champions League, which would be just a catastrophe, wouldn't it? But the board are just jokes. Like, I don't know what Edwards and Hughes are doing, sat in that boardroom, thinking, "Oh, should we just give him till the end of the season?" Are you joking? Like, try and watch a game of football now for Liverpool. It's horrific. I'd genuinely rather sit and watch paint dry. On that basis, would you prefer City or Arsenal to win the league? City, mate. City. I think every person would rather have City win the league. I don't think there's many teams that would rather. I think even United fans would rather have City win the league than Arsenal. I've seen a lot of United fans say that they'd rather have City win the league than Arsenal. And do you know what it is? I think it's mostly just because of the delusion within the Arsenal fan base and manager. I hate Mikel Arteta. I can't stand the guy. But also, there's just so much delusion in the fan base. Like, there has been for ages, hasn't there? And the delusion's only going to go more deluded and, enhanced if you're, never going to hear the end of it. But yeah. I think it's because all other teams are jealous of us, right? Nothing to be jealous of, really, I don't think. I don't think there's anything to be jealous of. I mean, we won the league last year. I know the one thing you gotta remember, James, is when we won the league last year, everyone was so obsessed with saying, "Oh, it was a rubbish season. Oh, it was a rubbish league. Oh, there was no competition. Blah blah blah." You're 7 points clear now. If you end up 10 points clear, whatever, you're in the exact same boat of being labelled winning a league winning the league in a rubbish season. It's exactly the same as when people say it about us last season of, "Oh, there was no competition. Oh, it was a rubbish season. Oh, the quality was bad." Exactly the same this season if obviously you go on to win it. I mean, City looked so bad, didn't they? I couldn't believe how bad they looked against United. Like, done something. Given the fact they'd signed Semenyo, I thought, right, this is where they should go and turn them over. Stop moaning. I'm a Tottenham fan. Oh, mate. Oh, Kev. I feel sorry for you. I mean, do you wish that they'd just give Ange another season and give Ange a chance, or where are you even at with your kind of team, mate? Do you wish that they would have given Ange another chance? Because it couldn't really be any worse than it is now, could it? Well, it could. You could be in the relegation zone or something, but I mean, it looks. I can't believe how bad Frank has done. I actually thought that Frank would have been better. Wednesday fan here. Oh, mate, I don't even know what league you're in anymore. You're in League One? You're in the Championship? Where are you? Poch to come back. I think it's looking likely, innit? I think there's a lot of stuff that's going to go on in the summer. I mean, yeah, in the summer you've got Poch available, you've got Nagelsmann available, you've now got Conte available, haven't you? He's gone from Napoli. You've got Alonso available. You might have Tuchel available. There's another one. Who else was I going to say? You got a lot of people available. Yeah, so you got Tuchel probably. You've got Nagelsmann. You've got Alonso. You've got Conte. Ancelotti maybe, unless he retires or stays with Brazil. Ancelotti potentially. That's 5 top managers there, innit? I mean, who would I rather have? I would like to see Alonso, but I do like the idea of Nagelsmann. Now, it obviously depends on what they're trying to do. Enrique as well. Maybe Enrique. Luis Enrique maybe as well. So that could be 6. That could be 6 proper top managers there. I mean, I do like the idea of Nagelsmann. I think he did really well at Bayern, didn't he? They basically sacked him for no reason, and then it all went downhill under Tuchel. He's done really well with Germany, and he gets Wirtz playing really good. Now, same for Alonso, innit? It's like, you get one of them two, surely you give Wirtz the best chance of actually becoming a success. But yeah, I think you got 6 top managers potentially there in the summer up for grabs. we've got us definitely looking for a new manager. There's no way that whether they keep him on for the season or sack him in the summer, there's no way that they give him next season. So we're definitely looking for a new manager. United are looking for a new manager unless they fall for the ex-player bounce again and give Carrick an actual contract. City potentially, if Pep is just like, oh, this is enough, and Pep goes. I don't think really. I don't think any of them managers. Oh well, Pochettino would take the Tottenham job, wouldn't it? But yeah, it's going to be an interesting summer for sure. Anyway, back to crypto. To be fair, we could talk football for ages, can't we? But there's going to be there's going to be a lot of manager movements in the summer. I mean, if it was down to me, I'd either get Nagelsmann or Alonso. If you want to get someone in mid-season, probably best not to do it. Probably best to try and get a temp in it and try and just get them to get your Champions League. Championship -7 points. The hell? What happened? Go into administration or something? But yeah, XRP. Look, these daily candles really interesting on some of these altcoins, aren't they? I mean, what's that off the bottom there on XRP? That's 7% off the bottom. That's not bad going. Hype structure's looking interesting. BNB it still looks quite strong, doesn't it? To be fair, still looks quite strong. I think BNB probably looks like one of the better ones, to be honest. Out of all altcoins, BNB probably looks like one of the better ones. Now there's your SR. There's your SR. Ish. Probably better off drawing it as a box. I mean, you could draw it a few ways, couldn't you? There's your SR there. And then do you try and take some of that SR from there? Because that was also strong SR. We'll go with the most recent one. So there's your SR. Resistance, support, potential support again. These white boxes are too white. Turn down the opacity a little bit. There we go. So, yeah, there's your SR and BNB, but yeah, looks good. Monero discussed before. Bounce territory in it. Doge. A lot of these meme coins as well. Look at all these gains. Look at these gains just dwindling from these meme coins now as well that had really strong starts. These meme coins had really good starts to the year, didn't they? And suddenly, you know, the gains are falling away. Pepe's now only up like 20% so far this year. I think Mantle, Link, what's Link doing? Yeah, I mean, a lot of these yearly gains on a lot of things are gone. Obviously, Bitcoin, Sol, and ETH have still got some of the yearly gains, but you look at AVAX, and it was the same for Link as well. And all them yearly gains gone, bang, done. Oh, but yeah, I mean, SPX yearly gains gone. Bonk, and these were the stronger ones, weren't they? Particularly Bonk and Pepe was the strongest, but you know, Bonk there. There's your yearly open, and obviously your January open, up 22% now. Pepe, game, same kind of thing. Fart coin. Same thing. Pengu, nearly all the way back down. Pengu was one really kicked me. Really annoyed myself I didn't buy Pengu. So potentially getting another chance soon. Maybe now, who knows? But yeah. Let me know in the chat. What would you like me to look at next? Bit of a slow day, innit? Bit of a slow day with no US Open. It's quite a slow day. DeFi protocols are ditching Discord as scams overwhelm crypto communities. Yeah. I mean, really, there needs to be something. I mean, you could maybe label Telegram as it, but I don't know. I'm surprised that there's not been a better solution for kind of communities. I mean, our Discord's fine in it because we've got really good people in there. We've got really good people in there that would obviously identify a scam, and we'd be able to kick them or block them or whatever straight away. But I do think that Discord for definitely for big projects and stuff like that, probably not the way to go. Should prediction markets be banned? The case rules, not prohibition. Prediction market, I can't say that word. Prediction markets are booming, but rising concerns over athlete harassment and youth exposure raise a hard question: regulate or ban? The NCAA wants college sports prediction markets paused over athlete harassment concerns. Age gaps between gambling laws and prediction platforms are a real issue. Prediction markets are exploding in volume despite regulatory pressure. A blanket ban may miss the point. Targeted regulation could work better. The real debate isn't markets versus morals, but rules versus chaos. I mean, they have just exploded, haven't they? They've just exploded onto the market. Yeah, that's what we're up to with any news stories on CSE. Have a quick look at the heat map. Yeah, I miss the US Open, don't you? I miss the US Open. So 3-day chunk at 96k. Let's see if we cleared any downside chunks on the way down. I would imagine that we have. Yeah. We ran through all that there, didn't we? And now obviously formed a chunk to the downside, having, people been longer than buying where we currently are. And there's your 2 week, basically, all the way back towards the yearly open, pretty much. That's what we're looking at in terms of the heat map. But yeah, I think, overall, the rest of this week should be really interesting, given the fact, we're going to have non-stop headlines. But yeah, let me know in the chat. What would you like me to cover next? Right. I don't really know, we had gold and silver just explode as well, didn't we? Obviously, given the alongside the market downturn, futures as well. It's not just Bitcoin, by the way. If you look at the S&P futures, obviously these still operate even with US market being closed. Look at that for an hourly candle on the S&P futures. Same for Nasdaq. Gap down there. Look at the gap down on Nasdaq futures. These took a heavy hit as well, which also undoubtedly contributed to Bitcoin's fall off. But in the opposite direction went gold. Nearly up to 4,700. Silver climbing above 90, climbing above 93. It's actually in this past hour just hit an all-time high. $94. We actually are watching history right now with silver. Are you in any trades at the moment, Dave? I'm still in just my Bitcoin long from 90. That's all I'm in at the moment, mate. Still in just my Bitcoin long from 90. Yeah, I'm just letting that ride. It's either going to take me out at break even with fees covered, or we'll ride to Valhalla and ride towards 100k plus. But I am interested in. I want to long some altcoins. Now, initially, what I was waiting for on Sol and ETH was kind of the confirmation that they'd flipped SR and then look for the upside. Given that they've dropped back below, I'm more so interested to see what Bitcoin does next, which will kind of give me the indication on where I want to long Sol and ETH. I mean, the ideal place to long Sol would be 126, but obviously to get there, we would then have to have more pain and more blood. There's not short-term, immediate. Pardon me, bullish idea. But yeah, at the moment, I'm just still riding a Bitcoin long for 90, and that's all for now. But yeah, I mean, I'm quite keen to try and not miss out on Pengu again. That was just fumbled really hard by myself over Christmas because I was taking a break and stuff like that. We've been looking at Pengu a lot on streams before Christmas, hadn't we? And that had a real good rally. But I'm interested in Pengu. But yeah, I want to play the Sol and ETH breakout because I think when they do break out and really actually flip the SR zones, I do think the breakout will be explosive. I think ETH will quickly run to 3,600. Sol quickly run towards 170. Like I think it'll be good breakouts, but it's just getting there, isn't it? So yeah, at the moment, because we've had this turmoil on Bitcoin, I'm just going to sit tight and just kind of wait for something to happen. What about you, mate? What are you in? Are you still accumulating your Pepe? Are you still accumulating your Pepe? What's going on with that? Oh, pardon me. Anyone else in any trades as well? Do let me know in the chat. You let me know. Dot, small, long. How is Dot doing, actually? I haven't looked at Dot in ages. Jesus Christ, it's under $2. To be fair, Dot's still fairly up. Yeah. The price action on this thing is crazy, isn't it? I think the price action on this thing is just crazy. Like, it's crazy to think at one point in time this thing was like, 40, 50, even 30, $20, like, and now it's under 2. It's crazy, isn't it? Here's my Uniswap level. Well, actually, we're not getting too far away from that now. My Uniswap level. You are still live, mate. Went out and came back. Thought you'd be off by now. No, I started a bit later coding. I started a bit later because I was having trouble with my laptop. So I started a bit later, but we don't have US Open today anyway, so it really didn't matter. Like, I could have streamed at any time today and it wouldn't have mattered, would it? Because we don't have US Open. So, but no, yeah, I am. I'm still live, mate. Probably for the next 10 minutes or so. This thing still interests me as well. I think if/when we do get a market upturn, I think this would potentially be a good runner on BNB chain. I'm interested in this. Haven't bought any yet. It's come back down to a good level, to be fair. But I am interested in this because I do think potentially this has some good legs. If/when, the market turns good again, and particularly, CZ starts hammering the BNB chain bullishness too. That dusk is going back to the upside, isn't it? Look at that. Natural gas up 20% now. Wow. But yeah, I think it should be interesting, especially, come Wednesday when I do the stream with Wiz. I think it'll be really interesting to see where we're at. Ooh! Oh. Yeah, let me know in the chat if you'd like me to cover anything else. If not, then we can just kind of chill, can't we? We can just kind of chill. This is an interesting one. Well, this kind of region on total 2 looks good. Again, this takes a long time to play out. Hopefully my DCA will pay off in the long run. Now I'm locked into it. Yeah, man, I think, I think out of all of them, out of all the memes, obviously Doge is kind of the safest one, isn't it? Out of all the memes. And then you would probably put Pepe into that bracket as well, because more often than not, they trade like large caps instead of meme coins, don't they? Do you think the tariffs are nothing and they'll just sort stuff out diplomatically? I know UK said they wouldn't tariff US back. I think Trump will just get what he wants, whichever way he has to get it. So if he has to go and directly take Greenland, I think he will. If he can work out an agreement where they buy Greenland off, Greenlanders, if that's what they're called anyway, I don't know, or he can buy it off Denmark, I think he'll do that. But I think one way or another, Trump will get what he wants. It's just, however he gets it. Now, there's no surprise that the UK said they won't tariff the US back. The UK government's not got one backbone in them all, have they? So, there's no surprise about that, mate. I think, if anything, I think probably all EU countries are kind of just looking around at each other going, what should we do? You say what we should do and we'll all do it. It's kind of like that with Europe, innit? They're kind of like, they won't do anything on their own. They have to do it as a group and kind of like, let's all do this together. Like, that kind of herd mentality. But I think the reality is, I think Trump will get what he wants, whichever way he has to get it, which obviously we don't know yet. And only kind of the next few weeks and months will work that out. But yeah, I don't think it'll be any joke. Like if Europe really start to dig the heels in, then it could turn quite nasty between the US and Europe. I don't even know why we're getting involved. We're not even part of the European Union anymore. Why are we even getting involved in this? Like, what? Why is the UK government getting us involved in this? We're not even part of Europe anymore. So, why are we getting involved in this? We don't have to get involved in this, which is the weird thing. Why are we being dragged into this when we don't have to be? Because it's classed as NATO countries, probably, and stuff like that. But I don't get it. I just don't get it. Like, yeah, they won't. Like, they won't, will they? Because Starmer won't stand up to Trump. We all know that. We all know that Starmer won't stand up to Trump, and it looks like Starmer's very pally with like Macron and other EU leaders. So the easiest route for him is to go, well, I'll just stick with you guys. You know, I'll stick with you guys, and then like, you know, we'll all do it together. That type of thing, instead of like him having to stand up to Trump on his own. And then obviously, like, because then he doesn't actually have to, you know, we don't actually have to pick the side of the EU. We're not in the EU anymore. I don't know. It's just we'll get Wiz's take on it on Wednesday as well. But I think, yeah, I do think it could turn quite nasty, because obviously, you know, European countries could then start shutting down US bases. You know, there's a lot of US bases around Europe. I'm not exactly sure how many, but I'm pretty sure there's a few in the UK, and obviously, you know, the US use it as bases for their aircraft and, you know, troops and stuff like that. And especially all around Europe, you know, it could turn quite nasty if true, but I don't think the UK would. No, I don't know, mate. I don't know. We'll see. I mean, we had this all last year, didn't we? You got to remember that last year, the first 3 or 4 months was dominated by tariffs, wasn't it? That's all it was. It was just tariffs, basically just shaking up the market. And then for the rest of the year, the market stopped caring about it, and then we just, you know, the market just went on and did its own thing. We're kind of maybe getting the same thing again, where like the first couple of months are dominated by tariffs, and then dominated by headlines, and then maybe for the rest of the year we kind of just get like a free hit, like a free run. I don't know. Yeah, I'm not too sure, mate. I'm not too sure. I'll be honest, like I don't really have that much of an interest in like kind of worldwide politics. Like, I'm more so interested in just like what's going on at home, kind of thing. And it's kind of like, I don't really know about, like, you know, the size of each country's military and stuff like that. I haven't got a clue. So I'm not going to pretend that I do. So I'll take your word for it, mate. But yeah, it should be interesting for sure. And I mean, at the end of the day, for us, you know, on the crypto side of things, it will create headlines, which will create volatility, which will create trading opportunities, which will create money. And that's the main thing, isn't it? You know, volatility is where the money is made. And, you know, that's where we're at, innit? Volatility is where the money's made, and undoubtedly all these headlines coming out are gonna create volatility, which is good for us. So yeah. But yeah, thank you very much for joining me today. Hope you've all enjoyed it. Make sure you do drop a like on the stream. Make sure, if you're new, subscribe, click the notification bell. I will have a video going out tomorrow or Wednesday. I'm going to take my time with editing it, so it's a really high quality, good video. So do keep an eye out for that, and I'll see you guys on Wednesday when I stream with Wiz. That'll be a great stream. Make sure you come jump in. And of course, we'll have US Open back. US Open will actually be back tomorrow, but in terms of the streams, US Open will be back for us on Wednesday. Have a good one. Make sure you click the link in the chat, pinned in the chat, to join the Discord. If you are in the Discord, get some chat going in there, and I'll catch you all in there. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you on Wednesday. Bye bye.